Loading Up Podcast. Game on.
Perfect. Welcome to the Loading Up Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Brother Zay, and tonight I have with me Producer J.
What's up, man? How you been?
All right, man. Playing games, working a lot.
Yeah, I hear you.
Before we get into shenanigans of today's show, let's click that like button, subscribe, and share it. It's all free to do on YouTube. You can also rate us on the podcasting apps if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We greatly appreciate you guys sharing out the word, getting us out there into the universe. Also, don't forget about our sponsors. We have W Energy Drink, where you can save 10% on your purchases by using code LUP at checkout. We also have links in the description for NordVPN, which is really good to have, especially after this week's news about the major hack.
Yeah.
Get yourself some NordVPN and protect yourself. Also, we have Skyforge PCs. We can get all your custom and pre-built PCs right from Skyforge. Click the links down below so you can save some money as well as help us out. We appreciate you guys. Anyway, thank you so much. All right. Now that we got that out the way, Bruce J, you been playing anything? Talk to me.
So I'm still making my way through all the stuff that I've been playing, the usual. Still playing through Baldur's Gate.
We got updates.
Yeah. I mean, if you check on our TikTok, you can see a clip of something that happened during my playthrough, which threw me off because I was not expecting that. Maybe I don't know if that was intentional, but it was funny as hell.
I've never seen that before, so it was
Yeah.
not intentional.
it was just like, what? Yeah, so you could check out our TikTok if you want to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, still making through on that. We're just in the beginning parts of Act 3. We're still like in the outer city, trying to do all the quests there, and
yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Act 3 is crazy.
Yeah, honestly, it's funny because I feel like Act 2 was super fast. Like I felt like I did pretty much everything in like one area. Like maybe that was intentional. Maybe they meant to make it a little bit shorter. But yeah, I'm hoping
the meat of the game is Act 1 and then 3.
Yeah, I was hoping that's what it was, because Act 1 was really long.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're making our way through that. Still playing Death Stranding. Honestly, like it's weird because like I remember when I first played it when it first came to PC actually. And not PC, well, PC Game Pass, because I didn't want to buy it because the reviews it didn't get bad reviews, but it didn't seem like the game that I would want to play based on like everything that I was reading, and the gameplay that I saw didn't feel like it was something that I would want to play. And it sucked at the time because like I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan, and like Metal Gear Solid is like one of my favorite franchises, so
Yeah.
it kind of sucked to like not play his new game, like the first game out of Konami. So like I played it, and I don't know, I just couldn't get into it, and now I'm playing it again, like for the, I guess, second time, and I'm liking it. It's pretty good. Like obviously it's very straightforward, but I mean the story is still kind of like I'm trying to figure out and follow along. It's still really convoluted, but that's kind of to be expected. Yeah, so you kind of go through it, and then it'll come to you as you play, and that's what's been happening. So I've been mostly playing on my ROG Ally just because it runs very smoothly on it. I played a little bit at home on my Xbox, so it's just it feels like it's gonna be one of those games that you just like relax to, just pop on, just travel, make some deliveries, and then you'll get some like story elements that freaking take up 30 minutes. So
are we talking about the same game? I was stressed playing that game.
You were stressed? Maybe I haven't gotten that deep into it, because the only part that I found that could be stressful is when you run into the BTs.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've only run into them once, and it was all right. Like I wasn't anything crazy.
I,
Maybe my next encounter will be different.
it,
But
it gets crazy.
yeah, so we'll see. I'm still early on. I'm still playing. Um, yeah, and honestly, that's been the bulk of it. I've been playing a little bit here and there. I played actually a little bit of Gears of War 5 or Gears 5 because I got the itch, you know. I don't know, maybe because we played a little bit
Yeah.
of Gears 5 after the beta kind of crapped out on us. Um, Maybe we just got lucky that first time because when I played again, I was getting smoked. And it was very humbling. I was like, damn, I thought I was good. Like shit, I couldn't even get like I barely got like 1 or 2 kills per game. And it was rough.
They were like, "Oh,
Uh
you won your first 3 matches. You going up against the pros."
Yeah, no, you know what it was? I think honestly, a lot of the people were playing the beta, and I played during the week. That so they everybody that was like, all the Gears heads, they went back, and not now I was playing with the diehards. So,
Funny.
yeah, it was still fun though. I got satisfaction, and I really want to get back into it. I want to play it like because I never beat the story, and I know there's like a hanger and cliffhanger ending that surprisingly I haven't been spoiled on. I just know that it's something that you have to make a big decision. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's the main things I've been playing.
Very nice.
What
Very
about
good.
you?
So as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube and playing Crash Bandicoot, it's about time. And having a hard time, you're seeing me die a lot. I was trying to go for like everything, I want to get all the boxes and everything, but it wasn't working. The 3D aspect of Crash Bandicoot always messes with me. Like I always constantly fall or something.
Yeah,
Or I misread one of the enemies. I'm just dying, but I'm still having fun playing it. So that's why I recorded for the podcast, and also been playing, of course, Call of Duty. I've been playing a lot of Midnight Suns. I'm deep into Act 2 of that game.
nice.
Really enjoying Midnight Suns. The story is really good, and I've been playing some Star Wars, just a little bit of everything. I like to dabble a little bit. I got to start the Altars because I hear the Altars is absolutely
Yes,
really good.
I've heard that too.
So I'm gonna start the Altars probably this weekend. Um, I really want to get into it. So, that's what I've been playing. I've been keeping it low
Nice.
key because we've been working a lot, and then come home play a little bit.
Yeah, this upcoming week I'm actually off of work, so I'm gonna
Oh,
try
nice.
my best to like just hone in and focus because I feel like every time I have any time off, I'm just like, oh, I just want to relax, and then I end up freaking scrolling TikTok for like hours, and I'm just like, damn, I could have been playing. So I'm gonna try not to do that this time, but yeah, hopefully I'll be trying to beat more games, trying to get through
Nice,
them.
nice. That is awesome. When we beat our games, we play the games that we've had for a long time. We finally get to beat them. It feels really good.
And then you find a new one, and then you're just like, damn.
No, we need to get rid of the backlog.
No, I can't. I mean, I try, but it's impossible. I'm gonna be freaking into my old age trying to finish my backlog.
All right, that's fine. We'll be good. We have plenty of games to play.
Yes,
All right, let's jump straight into the news because we got some news to talk about. Um, some big rumors. According to SE Scoops, Sony is interested in buying Warner Brothers, streaming and studios assets, and those assets, the report says, would include the company's HBO Max streaming service, its various IPs, and gaming assets. So sources said that Sony was only interested in acquiring WB's streaming studios and gaming assets if they were separated from its cable networks, which according to the reports have lost millions of home views as people abandon traditional cable packaging. So we take this with a grain of salt because I doubt they're gonna sell things bits by bits. They probably want to sell everything as a whole. But it looks like Sony's interested in WB Games.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we've heard plenty of rumors in the past about Sony being interested in acquiring anything, and a lot of times it never comes to fruition.
Yeah.
It's just rumors. They can be interested all they want, but if they're not able to, then it's not going to happen. Um, yeah, I think this is mostly just them putting their names in the hat of potential buyers. I don't think that they'll be the ones to actually complete the deal. I'm sure there's other non like gaming um potential buyers that would be probably better suited, probably like an Amazon or maybe even Apple, just because I know they want more stuff for their Apple TV Plus, and maybe that could be their gateway into like the gaming aspect, because I know they've been talking about it and they're supposedly releasing a new gaming hub, like we talked about it. That's gonna be like a interface like Xbox and stuff like that. So who knows?
Yeah.
So I don't think Sony's gonna be the one though. I think this is just them being interested, but that doesn't really mean anything. I don't think they have the capital to facilitate such an acquisition without like another entity being involved. It can't just be them. They would have to partner up with somebody. So
Yeah, and it will have to be big because WB is potentially worth between $5 to $8 billion. And if you look at Sony's like cash on hand, they don't even have they have a total of maybe 11 trillion yen, which comes out to like $7 billion. They're not going to spend all their money just on WB games. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
yeah, or just the assets. And like you said, I don't think WB is interested in selling off some parts of it. I think they want to sell everything, because
Yeah.
that's what uh, these companies want. They want to
Yeah.
sell everything. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, I mean the shareholders and the boards, they went pretty hard to continue reading the article. They even cut the CEO's pay by like millions.
Oh
They're really
yeah, David Zaslav, I think.
yes, yeah, they're really trying to save as much money and maybe position themselves to be acquired, but we don't know yet which direction they lean or who is going to acquire WB games and streaming streaming studios. We'll just have to wait and see, and who really picks up the tab.
You know
It's
what's
rough at WB.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Didn't they just merge with Discovery like a year or two ago?
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Yeah, so now they're looking to sell again. Like, what was the point of that? Like, I don't know what that was the purpose for.
I think that was to save Discovery mostly,
Maybe,
and
but
that's the only I can think of.
yeah. And then it's funny too, like you'll see all the people getting excited for this stuff, and it's just like I thought it's the same people that were crying about consolidation and about all like dirty business like tactics and stuff like that. Like I thought this was a bad thing. I thought you didn't want more acquisitions like this. But clearly it's okay when Sony does it, but Microsoft, no, they can't do nothing. Sony's fine. They could do everything.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Well, we'll just have to wait and see further. See who comes forward, puts their hat in the game for WB, and it's definitely gonna be interesting if we get some more news about who gets who gets these rights.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be interesting.
All right, and we got some more news out of Sony with the Marathon development update. So they put out a blog post, and it just reads a little bit about it. Let's just talk about it. Just says thank you not only for your passionate feedback around the marathon reveal and alpha playtest, but also your patience while we took the time to listen closely and chart our next steps. It says through every comment and real-time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. You've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft Marathon into the game that truly reflects your passion. After much discussion within our dev team, we've made the decision to delay the September 23rd release. Now, they are. That was I mean, the blog post continues, but that was the main thing. They definitely had to delay this game, especially after the really bad playtest that they had. It just wasn't ready, and I think it was fair. We all saw this coming. First of all, this is not
Yes.
a surprise. We saw Marathon delay coming. They had to if they wanted to stay together as a company, as a development team under Sony. They had to delay Marathon because if it came out and it did poorly, just like Concord, it probably would have been shut down and probably be the end of Bungie as we know it.
Yeah. I mean, the writing was on the wall, at least during, because a lot of stuff was happening at the same time. The beta or the alpha came out and it was very mixed. Like a lot of people either really liked it or thought it had potential, and then there's others that just were completely turned off from it. So that was kind of like the first sign that things weren't gonna be great. And then the whole uh copyright stuff with the plagiarism and stuff like that, that reared its head. And I think that was kind of like, okay, we probably need to scale back and reassess the whole situation, because not only do they have that initial negative press, but now they got this going on. And honestly, this was inevitable. Like there was no other alternative to for this game. Like if they released this year, it was gonna die. Like it was DOA. Like let's just be say it could be like functionally like fine, but people weren't going to care. And this is the problem with Sony's live service aspirations. They really need to have like another Helldivers 2 situation where it's a massive success, and maybe it teeters off a little bit, but for the most part it's strong and it maintains a decent player base. Because obviously we saw what happened with Concord. They didn't even give it a chance though.
Yeah,
But
they
it
really
just,
gave up on that one quick.
yeah, they probably would have gave up on it eventually, so maybe that's why they just never, they didn't even bother. um but yeah, they need a success and they need a win. They've canceled so many games, they've closed a bunch of studios, laid off developers, all related to the live service aspect, because they just can't get it right for some reason. And it's a shame, honestly, because there there's nothing inherently wrong with live service if if it's done right. Because I always feel like there's always a live service game for somebody. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to play everything, because I think that's what turns people off about it, is that, oh, there's another live service game that they want me to play, and I know you don't have to play it. You can try it out, you can join in, and then if it's for you, you can keep playing. If not, find something else or stick to single player and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's what people have in their minds when they think about live service. But for Sony, at least, they don't have anything, or they have one, Helldivers, and that's it. And I think they're starting to kind of get desperate in terms of finding success in live service, because you look at a lot of other publishers, they have their success. They have multiple successes. And Sony's kind of like the only one, aside from Nintendo. But Nintendo, they don't really need to do live service. Like they're successful outside of that for other reasons, and it can kind of offset that. But with Sony, they need it, because I think there was like it was like a report. I think it was in the most recent report that 53% of Sony's revenue came from third-party live service games. And that's the majority. Like majority of the revenue came from third-party live service games. And that's revenue that they have to share. So I you can see why they need something like that, so that way they can offset all their other costs. Because that's, I mean, we've heard it before. That's why they do the remasters. That's why they do the PC ports. They need that extra revenue to support all their other ventures, all their other single player games that take 5 years, 6 years to make. They're not cheap. So they need that extra revenue, and live service could be that. And that's also why Microsoft is able to do all this stuff, because they have multiple successful live service games, especially now after the ABK acquisition. So Sony's kind of the only or the only studio, publisher, whatever, that doesn't have one, or that doesn't have one that's like sustainable long term.
Yeah,
Helldivers 2 eventually is gonna teeter off, like when
it has.
when I mean, it kind of has already, but like once the studio's next game comes out, I'm assuming it's gonna be another live service game. I mean, I don't think they've said what it's gonna be, but uh eventually it's gonna die off. Like you can't sustain that level of like revenue long term for that kind of game.
Those type of
So
games are like 1 in a million. You know, you have literally Call of Duty and Fortnite. Because even Apex has started to go off, you know, like it
yeah,
started
yeah,
to wind down from its being like really up there. It's still just Call of Duty, Warzone, and Fortnite. That's it. You know, you have some come in that are popular and they'll be good for a while, but then they fall off, you know. Uh
right.
what is it? Helldivers 2 is a good example of that because it came out super popular, but it fell off after the community rallied against the developers. Um,
Well, it was the
I-
whole freaking PSN requirement thing. That honestly
well,
was what.
that too, yeah, that was just a part of it, and then they pulled the game out of like 100 countries. Like, how do you expect people to play your game? You want people to play your game, but then you pull it from 186 countries. Like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
type of stuff, like it's blunders like that is why they keep failing.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
I can see why they're very cautious, like overly cautious with Marathon, because if this is a failure, then they might as well just give up on live service, because it's just not gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, it really sucks because we could have honestly, and this is coming from me. You know me, I'm an Xbox guy. But it really sucked that they canceled a lot of the what we thought was going to be really good potential live service games. That Spider-Man multiplayer game would have
Yeah,
been
that
amazing.
that I don't understand. Maybe it's
Yeah,
just like a technical thing that it just didn't work from a technical perspective, but on paper that sounds amazing.
but I mean, I don't understand how that couldn't work. You got Arrowhead doing Helldivers 2, where you could team up with 4 people and play, right? You know, why
Well,
can't they do something similar? It just doesn't. If Arrowhead Studios can do that, why can't Sony have a studio that does that? You know,
it was Insomniac that was making it, right?
I I don't know. It was canceled such a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. It's because Sony is having studios, and this is the mistake that other publishers have made, not with live service, but just mistakes in general, that they're having studios that are not equipped to make these games. Like look at what Mass Effect Andromeda. Like that game should have been like that should have been like a not perfect, but like it should have sold more than it did. But because it was put to a studio that wasn't necessarily like great at making those types of games, it was like the B studio, even the C studio actually, like it failed. And that's the same thing that happened with like their other games. It's like you can't put these studios like, or with Anthem. Like that's BioWare should not be making that type of game. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
why they would
even
have Insomniac make that game. Like they could have offloaded that to another studio that is well equipped to do it.
yeah. But when you're looking at the studios that Sony has, do they have a studio that is well equipped for live service games? Because
They don't.
even Bungie is having trouble bringing out Marathon for crying out loud.
Well, Bungie, I don't know what's going on with Bungie. Like they are a shell of their former self, so it's
Definitely.
kind of hard to like judge them properly. But like Microsoft has done it before. They've offloaded games to be developed by different studios using their IP. Look at Halo Wars. That wasn't done by Bungie when at the time, it was done by Ensemble. So
But
it's like
they also
they
did
didn't.
blunders like Redfall, where they had what was it? What was the team that did Redfall? That where it was a failure. You know, that team didn't they don't do live service games.
Like, well, there you go. Exactly. That's another example. So it's like there's plenty of examples of a game or even a concept that needs to be done by a specific studio. And Sony, for whatever reason, is not doing that. And I don't understand why. They don't have to own the studio to work and partner with the studio to make these games. That's what I don't understand. I feel like that's what they need to do. I don't know. I mean, it worked for Helldivers. That they don't own Arrowhead.
Yeah, but
So I don't know why they don't do it again.
that was just a partnership. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. And
I
that's
don't.
but either way, this marathon, we knew it was gonna happen. uh they did say that they're gonna be continue working on it and doing closed beta tests or alpha tests, closed alpha tests in the coming months, and then we'll hear more about it in the fall. So I'm assuming by September, maybe October, we'll hear a little bit more about the development stages for marathon. But right now it is delayed with no dates.
Indefinitely, yeah.
Yeah, with
It's
no
probably
dates.
gonna be either summer 2026 or fall 2026. I don't
I mean, if
honestly. It would have to
it
be
should be
summer.
fall. I think you should do fall again. Give it
No,
time.
no. Well, okay. If GTA is launching in the spring, which they said it was, then you could launch in the fall. But I personally don't. I think it's gonna get delayed again. I think they need to stay away from it at all costs.
Oh yeah, no. If Marathon comes out anywhere near GTA 6, Marathon fails.
Yeah, and it does. It really also depends too on if GTA Online launches with GTA 6 or GTA Online 2, whatever. Um, or if they do the staggered release like they did last time. We
They,
don't know.
yeah, who knows what GTA is doing?
Yeah, that's the problem. Nobody knows, and it's throwing everybody off.
No,
They don't
not
know when to
Xbox.
delay.
They're
Well,
they're out here
yeah,
releasing games like we have like 12 games coming just this week. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, they have the luxury of not having to worry about that.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
We ain't good at Xbox.
but yeah, Marathon not looking good, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some more bad news from Sony. Um, so the end of support from Beat Saber, the VR game that was just a viral hit. Uh, PlayStation 4 and PS5, Beat Saber will be ending support starting in June of this year. This month. This month is ending its support. Now you'll still be able to make some purchases, but I think multiplayer will no longer work as of January 21st of 2026, and it's just going to be ending all support and updates after that. That just for me that rings that the PlayStation VR really just failed,
Yeah.
because if the biggest VR game ever to come out since modern day VRs
It's the
is
VR game. Like when
yeah,
you think of VR, this is the game you think of.
yeah, Beat
And
Saber is huge, and if it's ending support, you know you failed as a VR company.
yeah, that just shows that nobody is using it. And honestly, I don't understand how they didn't see this coming. You know, or maybe they just really wanted to give it another shot, kind of like how Xbox did with Kinect. I thought Kinect was like, I mean, it had its audience, and I know the first one was successful somewhat. I mean, it was successful enough, but nobody was asking for another one. And then they did another one anyway. And everybody was saying like, why are they doing this? And I think everybody felt the same way about PSVR 2. It's just like, why are they doing this? They really wanted VR to take off on consoles, and it just wasn't happening. It's just not. There's certain aspects of VR that you just can't get over in terms of like uh the main thing is like the comfortability
Yeah.
of it after long use, because I mean, maybe it's different for like adults, but I've used my kids VR headset. I mean, I don't really use it now, but when they first had it, I played with it a little bit, and I couldn't play more than like 30 minutes. I would just get a headache, I would get dizzy, and it's just like, ugh, I can't do this. My son can play, or both of my kids can play for hours. But
Listen, Gen Alphas, they built different.
they are. I clearly they are. But um that's not the people who are buying. Like kids are not buying this. The parents are. So and it's also it depends on if they're actually going to use it. But that's the thing too. Like with the MetaQuest, because that's what they have. My kids have. It's just the headset. Like that's all you got to get.
Yeah.
But with PSVR, you need a console to play it. So on top of the $400, or how much is it? It was $300, or maybe they lowered it.
I don't know. I think it's like $399. No,
I don't know. But on top of the console itself, which was $500 base, and or 400 if you got the digital somehow. On top of that, then you got to buy the headset, which was another few hundred. And it's just like that's a huge investment for something that's going to be played maybe sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that was the issue. And I don't know if Sony was ever planning to work on a standalone, but clearly that's not the case now, because if you're missing the main game that people play, or like the tent pole game that everybody thinks VR or thinks of when they talk about VR, then it's just like you're done. Like just stop even trying. And to Sony's credit, I feel like they do try. It's just not good enough. Like it always feels like, because we've seen the state of plays. Like they always have that VR montage segment where they show off all the new games that are coming to PSVR, but it's always just like games that are already released on other platforms, or it's just like small indie games that like are kind of sort of like what other games do, and it's nothing really like I gotta have, you know. And honestly, that's VR in general. At least in my opinion, there's nothing really on VR that I was like I gotta have this.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was the main downfall of the PSVR, because there was nothing there to get. And I don't know. I mean, it was a nice try, but it just didn't work.
Yeah. I guess that's why Xbox never went full head into VR the same way Sony did.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I remember that. I feel like Spill Fencer, Phil Spencer. He said something in an interview where he was like, "We're monitoring, VR and seeing where it goes and stuff like that," and that I could have sworn he said something about maybe possibly supporting third parties on, well, maybe at the time it was like on console, like maybe you could connect, kind of like how the Steam VR thing works, where you can still connect to your Steam with like a MetaQuest or HTC Vive or whatever. You don't need the Steam version. I forget what it's called. The I can't remember, but you don't need their version. You can just plug in with it, and even PSVR is supported on Steam now. So I think they were possibly talking about doing something like that, but I mean, clearly VR is not where it needs to be for them to fully support it. But I mean, they're kind of supporting it. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, with PSVR, like they went full head on like developing it in-house, and I mean, I hope that this doesn't really affect them in terms of like their bottom line, because this is I'm sure they spent a pretty penny supporting it and getting games on the platform, and now it's kind of like what happens with that? Do the purchases still stay?
Yeah, so they did say that it will not impact your ability to keep playing Beat Saber, and you'll have access to all the content that you previously purchased. But they will not update the game anymore, and you
They're
can't
not adding
purchase,
new
they're
stuff.
not
Yeah,
adding new stuff, and they're getting rid of multiplayer come next year. Including cross buy. It's they're just stopping.
they're just done. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's messed up, you know.
I mean
It's it
it
just show,
it, it
it shows the market and where it's at. You
yeah.
know, not at VR, so they gotta go.
Yeah, or at least not for PSVR, because like I
That
feel
is true.
like VR still has a place. It's just Sony's implementation is not where it's at.
It is very niche.
Very niche, especially because, like I said before, the fact that you needed the console and then you need the headset. Now you just need the headset because you could use it with Steam now. But before that, it was, yeah. I could see why people were kind of hesitant to buy one.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into the next VR news we got, because we got a leak from Zubby Tech over on Twitter. He leaked images of a box from MetaQuest 3S, an Xbox Edition VR headset. It is an all black headset with some green accent faceplates, and it has a little Xbox controller on the box where it says MetaQuest plus Xbox on it, and it looks like Xbox is sorta stepping into VR with this.
Yeah, this is what I
And
was saying.
yeah, it's kind of crazy because like I I think Xbox has the right idea. They don't have to come out and make a headset. They could just partner with somebody that already makes the headset, brand it Xbox, and sort of give it Xbox features. Things that you can do with this headset that you can't do with the other MetaQuest. I
Yeah,
think that's the correct way to do it, because you don't have to dip your, R&D and all your people who make the consoles and accessories to do something else like VR headsets that's already done by the other team. Now you're just partnering up with them.
I do wonder because so this is it's essentially like a half measure
Yeah.
because it's the Xbox One edition, but the main use of like anything Xbox related on the Meta Quest, because you can do it with like the current Quest on the market, is just like cloud streaming, which is fine. I'm not saying that that's like anything to scoff at. Like it's good that, and I've tried it before and it's actually pretty good. It I mean obviously it's cloud gaming still, so there still comes with certain limitations. But I do wonder if this partnership is something more in that they'll link your like Meta account to your Xbox profile so that way maybe you can get achievements. Like maybe they'll offer it in their store like only specifically for the Meta Quest. Like maybe cuz we already know, I mean we'll talk more in depth about it later. We already know Xbox is open to allowing other stores on their platform.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if they'll just basically allow the MetaQuest store on the Xbox like platform, and it'll be somewhere where you can buy games through Xbox to use on the MetaQuest.
I mean, that's definitely possible. They can do that. We know that you could just buy stuff right from the cloud on the Xbox store. So maybe they'll have some sort of implementation where you can do that. It does supposedly come with 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, and supposedly it will be shadow dropped this week on June 24th for $400.
Oof.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the same price as PSVR 2. Most of these headsets are expensive.
Yeah, and this is
Um,
standalone, and it comes with a controller.
yeah,
Well, supposedly we don't know. This is just a leak. It's not
yeah.
anything official. But yeah, I'm more curious about like that aspect that I was talking about because if that's the case, that would be actually pretty cool. So that way you don't have to worry about segmenting your games like because the MetaQuest has their own like library. But what if you can just use like you can have the meta games on your Xbox library and just launch it from there. So that way you don't even have to worry about launching into Game Pass and then like playing like you can play VR games through the Xbox app that's on it, you know?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
would be actually pretty cool.
It would be. It would be. I mean,
We'll
I've, s-
see.
yeah, we'll see. And I also seen like videos of what it looks like wearing the Meta Quest and playing like Xbox Cloud, because you could do that now with the Meta Quest. You can play on cloud. Um,
But
it,
that's
it
why I
look
was saying it should be more. Just
yeah,
so
no,
that
yeah,
way
I'm
it's different.
sure. I'm sure it will be more, or at least different from what we've seen already. It does look really cool to play it like that. Um, Almost like a giant hollow screen.
Yeah.
Um, so it will be cool to see what this brings and what it comes out with. I mean, honestly, Xbox has been killing it with the announcements for hardware, including the Xbox ROG Ally X. Now this, Meta Quest 3S Xbox. They also, let's just jump right into it. They're talking about new Xboxes coming out in partnerships with AMD. Sarah Bond came out with a video that's like a minute long, just sort of a trailer about their partnership that they're going to be doing, their multi-year partnership, where they're going to be making new chipsets for consoles, handhelds, and even PCs. And it's going to be a big partnership and big push toward next gen consoles, because they're already talking about next gen consoles. And Xbox seems to be alive and well with their next Xbox and with this partnership. um I don't know what to tell you. It looks, the future of Xbox looks bright.
It definitely does. And it's funny because like just like prior to this announcement, there was already doubts about Xbox's future, and they would talk about the handheld that they were making that was supposedly initially it was delayed or like put on hold, and then they were saying, "Oh, it's canceled." And with this one video, which was like a minute and like 20 seconds, they debunked everything and recommitted to the fact that they are staying in hardware. They're not going away. And they basically, they didn't outright say it because I'm sure it's not finalized, but that essentially what the rumors were saying about third-party stores being available on Xbox platforms is true, because she said it plain as day that they don't want to be limited by one device or one store.
Yep.
So that basically just shows that they are committed to bringing uh different stores onto their platform. However, they also confirmed that backwards compatibility will be at the forefront. So that way, every game that you own on Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles, at least the ones that are available. Obviously, not everyone is available, but the ones that you have and that are available to buy will be playable on the new hardware. So I know there was a lot of talk about Xbox's PC aspirations. That's why they're pushing for Play Anywhere, because they want the future games to be able to be played, but maybe not the older games because it might not be possible. But yeah, Xbox's video just like basically gave that signal that that's what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
And then
definitely.
and then AMD released their own video,
Yep.
basically doubling down on their future aspirations, like with this Xbox partnership, and how they're going to allow for a more PC like ecosystem while still maintaining the simplicity of consoles, because that's ultimately what gamers want. A lot of gamers, I don't want to say every gamer, but a lot of gamers want more freedom with their consoles, or with their platforms, I should say.
Mhm.
Maybe, and the people that don't, they probably don't even realize that they would want that, because they're not exposed to it. Like all they know is just plugging in the console, turning it on, and playing the game. That's all they think about. But when you're exposed to things that are more beneficial and that are more freeing, you tend to want more of that. So I think this is a good thing going forward, that they're basically going to introduce PC-like aspects to the console space while also still maintaining that console feel. And not only are they bringing that to like the new Xbox consoles, but they're going to be bringing it to PC as well, and handhelds and
Yeah.
everything. And that's
And cloud.
and cloud, and that's the whole point of like the Xbox ecosystem, the whole "this is an Xbox" campaign. This has been it. This is all leading to this, where no matter what device you own, you can still get that same experience across everything. And that's really cool. I know a lot of people, they try to downplay it. It's like, "Oh, why would you want to do that?" It's like it's not a matter of why. It's about why not.
Yeah,
You know,
why not?
like
Exactly.
if I want to play on my phone through the cloud, why not let me do that? If you can, why not? If I want to play on my handheld, why not? If I want to play on my PC, why not? Why not give me that same experience everywhere I am? Why would you limit me just to the console? Like, if you want that experience, that can be it for you. Like, if you just want to stay on your home console on your TV, that's fine, and that's perfectly okay. But that doesn't mean that it has to only be that way. And I think that's what people they can't comprehend. Options are good. And I think that's why it's so frustrating to see people downplay it, because it's just like, no, this is good. Having more options to play is good. And I think that's ultimately what's going to win people over. Once they see how many options they have, then they're going to see, oh, okay, I see why people like this, because it's not about just me. It's about other people too. Although there's still going to be people that are just selfish and they just want things the way they want it, and that's it. So you're never going to appeal to them. They're going to want the things that they want the way they want it forever and ever. But going forward, having more options is always a good thing in general, not just with gaming, in general. But yeah, this is a good thing. I'm very excited, and I'm happy that they basically just confirmed everything, and we're as clear as they can be given how early it is, because obviously they're not gonna announce everything. Like they didn't give a code name for the hardware. Like they didn't even say when it's coming. They just said that they're working on it and getting people hyped up for it, which could mean that it's coming sooner rather than later, or it could just be them addressing the rumors and basically telling everybody, like, chill, we got this, just hang tight. Who
I mean,
knows?
we'll
But
see
we'll
when
see. We'll see.
when
Yeah.
it comes out and what happens. But honestly, just like you said, more choices are better, and it it, it makes a lot of sense. We'll get a next Xbox, right? And it will be essentially a PC where I'll be able to play my Xbox games, my Xbox console games, Game Pass games, my Steam games, including
Yes.
PlayStation games and Epic's Game Store games. I will be able to play all that on an Xbox from my couch. It's crazy. It's
Yes.
crazy. I mean, telling me I can play Spider-Man 2, Helldivers 2, God of Wars, all on my Xbox. They're flipping the script. They take the table of consoles, and they flip the table up and said, "We're doing it our own way. The hell with what you guys are doing." And I think this is going to be great for the gaming community in general. More options or more ways to play, having your games. Because AMD, like you said, AMD came out with that video. They're talking about doing it all with backwards compatibility. So having our games as far back as the original Xbox console to all the way to now, it will be great to have everything all in one place. So that way we can have a better community.
Yeah. And honestly, what Phil Spencer has said in videos, and why they're doing this multi-platform push and stuff, like why they're releasing games on PlayStation and Switch and stuff like that. It's because they want the conversation to stop being about the hardware, and they want it to be about games. When everybody has access to these games, it stops being about, oh, we have this game and you guys got that game, but we got that. Like, it stops being about who has what. It's about what are you playing. And like, because like if you think about it, are you really gonna gloat about, like, if you go to the movies, like, oh, I go to this theater because they have this movie. Oh, but you go to that theater because it has that movie. Like that's a stupid conversation. Like, no, you go to the theater to watch the movie. You talk about the movie. You don't talk about the theater. You don't talk about how you get there. You don't talk about where it's at. You talk about the movie. So that's what it should be about. And it's the same thing should be about games. Games should be the focal point. You should talk about the games. Stop talking about the console. Stop talking about the platform, the service, all this and that. Talk about the game. Do you like the game? Do you enjoy the game? What do you think about the game? That's what the conversation should be about. And I'm glad that they're trying. I know there's still going to be detractors. Like I said, there's some people who will always stay stuck in the console war game, and they'll never mature out of it. They'll just always be stuck on that. There's still people saying, like, "Oh, it's just a PC. Like, why are you getting so excited? Like, it's just a PC." Like, shut up. Enough. Stop it. Why are you why are you so hell bent on trying to downplay something like this? Like it must be so exhausting to go out of your way to downplay this stuff just so you could feel better about the piece of plastic that you own under your TV or on your monitor, whatever. Like, it's enough. Like, stop. It's so annoying. You guys are like freaking in your 40s talking about this stuff. Like, you got to get over it. Like, this is the future. And honestly, this is always the futures that I wanted to have. Because like being able to play on any device that I want with anybody I want, that's always been my dream. And I always got excited at thinking about that stuff. But I knew at least when I was younger, it wasn't going to happen because that's just not how things were. But now Microsoft is trying to change things for the better, and people don't like it because it's different. That's always been the case, and it's so
The only
annoying.
reason why people are even slightly against this in any way or form is because they brought the other system and they don't have Xbox. They brought Sony, they brought the PlayStation. They have nothing to play right now. They're waiting for Death Stranding and Ghost of Yote because they
And
have nothing to play.
and think
Meanwhile, we're playing games all the time. We have too
yeah,
many games.
and think about this too. The second that Xbox decided to bring games to PlayStation, what did they do? They bought them. They stopped talking shit about them. They bought them and then
Yep.
started gloating that oh, we got your games now. It's like, oh, so you did want them. You wanted to play them this whole time, but you were being petty and started talking shit because you just didn't buy the device to play them in the first place. Now you have them. Now they're great. Now you like them. Now you want to buy them.
I mean, they
Oh, it's
spent
like,
$100. Over 1.3 million people spent $100 on Forza Horizon 5, a 5-year-old game.
yes, it just shows that people want to play Xbox games, but their freaking their pettiness just didn't let them, and that's what I don't understand. It's so mind-boggling that people would just like, nah, I don't want to buy that game because it's not on the piece of plastic that I own. It's like, no, like and honestly, that's why I'm not I'm not upset about it anyway. Like I don't care that games are going from Xbox to PlayStation. Like, I have a PlayStation anyway, so it's like I didn't care. Ultimately, getting more people to play your game is going to be better for everybody, not just us, but for developers too. So I don't understand why they're trying to turn this into like some type of win. I mean, yes, it's a win, but it's not the win that you think it is because it's not gonna help you out with your freaking console wars nonsense. But anyway, um, going back to talking about the announcement, it's really good, and I can't wait to hear more. I honestly I feel like they might launch in 2026. Like I don't know why. Like I feel it in my gut that next year is going to be the year. I think they're going to end this generation for them prematurely in order to get more people on board with their vision for the future. Because if they're a year or two ahead from Sony's PlayStation 6, then like that's a huge gap. Because I remember that's honestly probably what made the 360 as popular as it was. It was a whole year before the PS3.
Yeah.
And people wanted to play the games. And they were only on 360. So they just bought it because that was the only one that was available.
You imagine them dropping a new console next holiday? Not 2025, 2026 holiday. Them dropping the next gen console in partnership with AMD. It'll be way
And
ahead of PS6.
I had an idea. And
Uh-oh.
I remember I wanted to talk about this before, but I completely forgot about it. What if? Because right now, what's the biggest game coming out next year?
Oh man. Fable, Gears.
In general, not just Xbox.
Oh well, GTA
GTA. And what is that only available on?
consoles.
Consoles. They're only on Xbox and PlayStation 5. What if, because in this AMD's thing, in this AMD video, they did talk about how they were gonna have backwards compatibility with their chipsets and they were gonna bring it to other platforms, including handheld, cloud, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
What if these chips are available next year for PCs and you're able to play GTA on a PC via these chips only on like the Xbox like ecosystem.
That will be that's monumental.
Yes. So that would get every PC gamer to jump into the Xbox ecosystem to play GTA.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, right? And I feel like that could be the play. I feel like that's what they're trying to get at. Because obviously the game it'll be playable through backwards compatibility because they said that's what they're doing. If they're able to launch next year, that's it. Like that's it. Like people are just gonna get this chip. They're gonna upgrade their PCs so they can play GTA on PC.
I mean, it'll be an expensive upgrade
It would
for
be.
the
It would be.
PC market, but will it be priced good enough to where they be like, man, maybe I could just get the next gen Xbox?
I mean,
Either way, Xbox wins.
that's what I was saying. Like it really doesn't matter because they're gonna get it through their ecosystem, not through PlayStation. I mean, I'm sure the PlayStation will be a good chunk, but the bigger chunk will be through Xbox because it'll be only available through Xbox on PC.
That would be
It
crazy.
won't be available on Steam.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That I was just thinking about that, and I was just like, what if they can pull that off? Honestly, that'll be a huge move.
It'll be really huge. Absolutely crazy move.
Yeah. But anyway, it was just a thought.
No, that's cool. I mean, listen, this is still early on. We don't even know if it will come out next year.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah,
Speculating.
that's just wishful thinking. Like
Yeah.
we don't know anything.
But if it comes true, you heard it here first. At Loading
Yes,
Up Podcast.
I will definitely be bringing this up next year if it does come true. I will point back to this exact episode.
Nostradamus over here.
Exactly, you heard it here first, like you said.
All right, let's keep going. We got a couple more stories to get through too. We have 1047 Games, which is the developer of Splitgate 2, just announced layoffs affecting an undisclosed number of employees. And this comes literally after a couple weeks of the game Splitgate 2 launching. That's really messed up to hear, especially because at the Game Awards or the Summer Game Fest, they came out. The CEO came out, was talking crap about in general about the gaming industry and how it needs to change, and
FPSs, yeah.
they're gonna release an FPS game that's gonna change the gaming landscape for shooters, and then it comes out to little fanfare, and now people are being laid off. It just really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to hear stuff about this, and I did appreciate like Splitgate 2's ambition, and I like that they were very passionate about trying to combat the mediocrity of other FPS games. I mean, even if you enjoy Call of Duty, you can still admit that it kind of is playing it safe a lot, and it's not really doing anything too crazy in the space, and it's kind of taking advantage of that fan base that doesn't leave, and that's why they're able to get away with a lot of the stuff that they do. I mean, it's still cosmetics and stuff like that, so it's not necessarily like horrible, but it's still heavily. I mean, they do have actual guns there, so it's not entirely just cosmetics. But it's still it's still kind of shitty. And like I said, I do appreciate that they were trying to do something different. But I think a lot of the backlash for this was it was multiple things. It was the whole joke about the make FPS is great again. Like a lot of people look too deep into that, and I mean I got it was a joke. I mean it was a dumb joke, but it's still a joke. And then the whole the marketplace that it had like $80 versions with a bunch of skins that were just like kind of dumb. Yeah, it just sucks, and I mean I don't want to wish any game to like have to lay off developers and um, you know, kind of like downsize and stuff like that. Like, but I don't know. It still sucks, and hopefully they're able to bounce back from this. And I don't know what this means for like Splitgate 2. I mean, I don't even know if it's doing well. Like, I know people are interested in it, but like you said, there hasn't really been any fanfare about it. Like, they came out strong with the game, not the Game Awards, the Summer Games Fest announcement, and then that was it. Like, you didn't really hear much about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the game, what happens with the future of it, despite the controversies, even though it
From
wasn't that controversial.
It wasn't that controversial. I think
Yeah.
people were just being
Yeah.
silly. I
Crybabies.
think crybabies. Based on what I saw from like the gameplay, like it does look like a fun game. Although
I mean,
maybe,
it looks like Halo with,
may,
Portal.
yeah, I think what got me not interested, but like it caught my eye because it's very fast paced,
It's very
and
fast-paced,
yeah,
yes.
I don't think I could get into that because
Yeah.
like even playing like the modern FPS games, like I can't keep up. Like maybe it's just for a new generation. Maybe that's their target, but it's not for me. Like I could barely keep up as it is. Like I just spoke about earlier about getting freaking smoked in Gears 5. Gears 5 is already like how old at this point, and I'm still freaking getting creamed by people online. I don't know.
Hey, yo. What's up?
Hey, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's definitely super fast paced. If you're into that, maybe give it a try, see what it's about, and we hope the developers bounce back and find some work relatively quickly. It's hard in this economy, and we'll keep updated on the game.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Right, the last bit of news, some we got some Nintendo news. Now we reported uh, a couple weeks back about how Nintendo will be able to have the ability to break your consoles if they deem you doing anything nefarious or anything that has to do with piracy in particular. And now that the Switch 2 has been out for 2 weeks now, um they have gone and started breaking consoles. So of course, companies in general do not want piracy. It's frowned upon. You don't want your games to be pirated. You want people to buy your games within the ecosystem. I think Nintendo has took that a little bit too far with what they implemented. They're implementing not just an online ban, they're implementing a brick console, a hardware ban, where your console is no longer being able to use. Even if you do things legally. That's right. Legally, you're able to just back up let's say your old Switch games onto a Make flash cards, which, if people don't know, Make flash cards are just blank Switch cartridges, and people can load into their games onto the SD card slot in there, and basically have their backup on there. If you use that on your Switch 2, they will brick your console.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with piracy. Just having your saved files onto a Make flash card will brick your console.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo they're the kings of overreactions, and this should come as no surprise to anybody. Like I mean, they said it as much right before the Switch 2 launched that they were going to do this, and they're doing it. So really can't be upset too much because they did warn you. However, that doesn't make it any less shitty. And I think Nintendo really has to stop like, well, I mean, I say they have to stop, but it's like you look online and there's people defending this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't understand why you would defend a corporation for doing stuff like this. Like, it doesn't matter if it's about piracy and stuff like that. If it's against your best interest as a consumer, why are you like for it? Why are you defending it? Like in general, like I never understand these people. So, and it's always I don't want to say it's always, because it's a lot of fanboys do this, but I feel I see it more with the Nintendo fans. Like they're always defending Nintendo to the death, and no matter what they do, there's always a justification for it, and it's just so stupid, and that's why Nintendo gets away with it, because they know their fans are just gonna let it slide, because it's Nintendo, because they dangle a new Mario game every other year. That's it. That's all it takes to get away with this stuff, and it's so annoying. But yeah, I like you said, it's a bit of an overreaction. Not even a bit. It is definitely an overreaction. Like I get if you want to ban their account, fine, but bricking the
That's
whole console,
that's the
that
thing. They're not even banning accounts. The guy who he did this online, the original post was from Reddit. He used the MIG flash cards and he updated his original Switch games on there and then put it into the console. It bricked the console, right? He unlinked his account and he went and purchased another Switch 2 and then just put his account on the Switch 2 and everything worked fine. So they're not even banning accounts. They're just saying, nope, this is a paperweight now. Sorry. $450 right down the drain.
no, that's insane. Like I I don't understand. Like even I don't think like PlayStation or Xbox has done this. They
Nope.
always ban the account, and unless you modified the console itself,
Which
then they'll
doesn't
ban the
happen.
account. But this is not a modification of the console. This
Yeah.
is just like a cart thing. Like, yes, I can see why it can be used for piracy, but in that case, you ban the account that's using it, and then they do what they want. But like they really, because I guess you could still pirate games even if the console or the account is banned. So I guess this is like the most extreme version. It's like, no, you are not allowed to do anything afterwards. You throw your money away. And I guess it's more of a deterrent than anything. It's like, oh, this is what happens when you try it. Like, so don't try it.
Yeah,
But
but
it's just like,
in the sense where we just got a report about how one guy did the Switch where it was where you transfer your files from the regular Switch to the Switch 2, and he lost 20 years of his Pokemon's file saves because they just got deleted during the file transfer, even though everything went through fine.
oh
So
shit.
when you have
Well,
stuff
that's
like that
that's more of
happening,
Nintendo's inept nature when it comes to anything regarding like modern like save and cloud
yeah,
saves and stuff like that. Like they're still way behind on that stuff, and
absolutely.
it
So that's
always
that's why they created the MIG cards in the first place. So that way you can save everything on one cartridge and not have to do or deal with the nonsense of losing decades worth of save files like this guy did. And now all of a sudden, if he does that to save all his save files, now his console's bricked. I'm sorry, but like as soon as I buy the console, it's mine now. The transaction is over. Why are you saying, nah, you can't do that? This is ours now, just making it a paperweight. That's crazy to me.
yeah, I don't understand that logic at all. But this is Nintendo. That this Nintendo's gonna Nintendo.
Nah, that's why I'm not buying it. That's it. We gotta speak with our wallets.
You're right, and that's why I'm not buying one for now.
I knew it was coming. I knew that was coming.
Listen. It's not just me in this household, okay? I just mentioned that
Terrible.
I got 2 kids.
Terrible.
They don't know any better, okay? I'm not gonna tell them no and give them this whole speech because they want to switch to like, no, you can't support Nintendo. I don't care.
I will tell them. Let me tell them.
Okay, I'll tell you here. I'll put them on the Discord and you could tell them.
That's funny. That's all the news we got today. That was everything.
All right, that was a good chunk of
Yeah.
news. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe. That will definitely help us out, and we like interacting with you guys. If you're watching or listening on a podcasting app, you can rate us, and share us around, because we want to spread the love to more people. If you look in the description, you can see our sponsors for W Energy, NordVPN, and Starforge PCs. And with that, we will leave you guys, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.